Collision theory is the idea that in order for a reaction to occur, particles must collide. There are many ways to increase or decrease the rate of reaction. Increasing temperature, particle count, pressure, and surface area, or adding a catalyst all heighten the rate of reaction. Our analogy for collision theory and reaction rates involves the game The Binding of Isaac: Rebirth. In The Binding of Isaac, the goal is to deal as much damage as possible. The act of dealing damage is like a reaction occurring when particles collide, just as when tears, the projectiles that Isaac shoots, collide with an enemy. It should be noted that not all collisions result in a reaction, but for the sake of the analogy we are going to assume that they do in the examples given.
Increasing the shot speed represents raising the temperature of a reaction. In a reaction, increasing the temperature raises the speed of the particles, therefore increasing the chance of two particles colliding. In The Binding of Isaac, having a higher shot speed of tears makes the tears more likely to hit an enemy and deal damage due to them traveling faster. However, with less temperature, particles move slower. This means they are less likely to collide because they need more energy to react and collide less frequently. This is just like in The Binding of Isaac, because less shot speed lowers the chance of hitting a moving enemy.
Increasing the tears per second represents adding to the number of particles in a reaction. Particles must collide for a reaction to occur, so if more particles are present, there is a higher chance for particles to collide. This is similar to increasing the rate of tears in The Binding of Isaac, because a faster rate of damage leads to more overall damage to enemies. When there are fewer particles, there are fewer collisions, just like having a lower tears rate causes less damage to be done.
Having a smaller room in The Binding of Isaac is like increasing the pressure of a reaction. When the pressure of a reaction is greater, this means that the particles are more compact, making it easier for them to collide. With a smaller room in The Binding of Isaac, there is a lower chance of missing, which means that more damage will be dealt. However, with a larger room, it is more likely that the tears will miss, just like how with less pressure, the particles are less concentrated, making reactions occur less.
Having more tears that are smaller is just like increasing the surface area of particles. When particles have a greater surface area, more particles are exposed to the other reactant, leading to more collisions per second. This is just like how a larger amount of smaller tears deals more damage and leads to more tears colliding with enemies. Larger surface area with less particles slows down the rate of reaction, just like how larger tears and less tears deal less damage because tear size does not increase damage.
Gaining homing from an item looks like adding a catalyst to the reaction. The catalyst itself is not affected by the reaction, but instead serves as a way to increase the likelihood of collisions because it correctly orients the particles, similarly to how homing causes your tears to collide with enemies far more often by aiming for you. Without this catalyst, a reaction is slower because its energy required to start the reaction is higher, and the particles are not oriented by the catalyst, just like how in The Binding of Isaac, lacking homing makes it harder to hit.